Jesus had 12 disciples altogether, those who were also known as the apostles, and the disciples were with Jesus during his ministry. All the disciples whom Jesus selected, they were ordinary people. The name of 12 disciples are Simon, Andrew, James, John, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, James, Thaddeus, Simon the Zealot, and Judas Iscariot, who betrayed with Jesus. First disciples I am talking about, Simon Peter. He was a fisherman, and Jesus chose him as his disciple. He later became the first pope of the Catholic Church, and during the reign of King Nero, Peter was crucified upside down upon his request, and in this way Saint Peter died. He told the soldiers that I am not worthy to die as Jesus Christ. You crucify me by putting my head down and leg upwards. So they crucified him upside down. Next disciple is Andrew. Andrew, like his brother Peter, he was also a fisherman. He was working as a fisherman in the sea. And after the death of Jesus, Andrew started preaching in Asia Minor and Greece. And later on, he was crucified with an X-shaped cross, and today also many people say Saint Andrew's cross because the cross was completely different. It has got a shape like X. Then comes James. He was the first apostle, the first disciple of Jesus to be martyred by King Herod of Agrippa. This disciple, namely James, was beheaded by King Herod. Disciple John was also a prominent leader in the Catholic Church, in early church, and he died with natural causes. He was not martyred or beheaded. He wrote the last book of the Bible, the book of Revelation, was written by Apostle John. We know very little about disciple Philip. He preached the gospel in Greece and was martyred by crucifixion by upside down like Saint Peter. Bartholomew preached the gospel in India, Armenia, and Mesopotamia. Some people believed that he was martyred by crucifixion or he was beheaded, but exact cause is unknown. Then comes Saint Matthew. Matthew was a tax collector. Jesus called Matthew to be his disciple, and immediately Matthew left his job and started following Jesus. Matthew, after the death of Jesus, he started to preach the gospel in Judea, Persia, and Ethiopia. He was martyred by being stabbed to death or by being beheaded. Then comes Saint Thomas, the disciple of Jesus, Apostle Thomas. He came to India in our country and started to preach the gospel. He came to Malabar coast in Kerala, and he was also martyred by Indian people, and he sacrificed his life for Christ. Then comes James, the son of Alphaeus. He is sometimes referred as James the Less, and James was the brother of John, and very little bit we know about him from the history and historical timeline, how he died and what he did after the death of Jesus, that is totally unknown. Then comes the Apostle Thaddeus. Thaddeus is also named as Jude, not Judas Iscariot. He is Jude, and his name is Thaddeus. Here is also the cause of death is unclear. Some say he was crucified, but and some people say he was martyred by some other causes, but exact reason is still unknown. Then comes Simon. He started preaching in Persia and was martyred. He was possibly cut into half of his body, and he sacrificed his life for Christ. He was one of the most beloved disciples of Jesus, and he was also martyred by the persecutors. Then comes Judas Iscariot. We all know about him, the disciple Judas. He betrayed with Jesus for 30 pieces of coins, and Jesus was arrested, and later on Jesus was crucified. Judas was responsible for the arrest of Jesus, and after Jesus was arrested, Judas thought that he did not do the right things, so he was feeling so guilty. He returned the money those who gave him, and later on he hanged himself and died. So my dear people, these were the disciples of Jesus. After the death of Jesus, they started preaching the gospel to all over the world, and some of them were martyred. One of them died with natural cause, and most of the disciples, they were crucified. So in this way they sacrificed their life for Christ. So my dear people, thank you for watching this video. Hope you have liked it. If you liked this video, kindly like and subscribe my channel. All the best.